This is Messages from the Universe with Lori Wondra of Your Life Core. Here, Lori delivers information from the Mastery Realms related to astrology, planetary influences, energy surges, and generally how we are evolving. She connects with angels, guides, ascended masters, astro beings, and those that come forward with messages to help us on our journey. Welcome, everyone, to Messages from the Universe podcast.
Hello, I am Lori Wondra, and thank you for listening. I have had so many people ask me about Pluto and what's the big deal with Pluto and how is it going to impact. So I'm going to use this podcast to educate you a little bit about the energies of Pluto and its movement into the sign of Aquarius and what that means as a collective to humanity. But I also will spend a little bit of time addressing each zodiac sign in the placement of Pluto, meaning wherever Pluto was in your birth chart or at the time of your birth, I'm going to give you a little bit of a snippet as to what that means to you overall in your lifetime. But then in traditional, I'm going to run through all the zodiac signs so you'll be able to listen to your sun or your rising and sometimes even your moon sign to give you that overall view as to how Pluto has the potential of impacting you over the next 20 years. So let's start a little bit with science. So Pluto was discovered in 1930, and of all the planets to watch this year, Pluto has everyone talking. We thought Mercury always got such a bad rap, or even the moon messing with our emotions, but Pluto, well, this planet is about transformation on large scales and with all levels. Pluto in Aquarius will show where you're ready to experience a radical transformation, and it has a collective energy as to where our communities, our processes, our governments, our systems that we have in place also will go through transformation. Now, Pluto is named after the underworld's ruler in Greek mythology. Although it was considered the official 9th planet in the solar system, Pluto was demoted to dwarf status by a group of 424 astronomers. They believed that Pluto wasn't big enough to be a real planet, but its energy does impact us. So despite the new classification, Pluto will always play an essential role in modern astrology. We can watch the inner planets of our solar system like Mercury, Venus, Mars, the Sun, and the Moon, and those relate to us internally or more personally. We feel them more. They have shorter rotations, so they come around to the signs more frequently. They impact us more frequently. But the outer planets of our solar system, like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, and Pluto, represent the external processes, such as our communities, our environments, our social norms, our government, our medical systems, those big systems that govern how we live day to day. And we can then look at the energy of each planet and what that energy of those individual planets mean. Now, Pluto represents generational change. Because the outer planets reside far from the sun, they take much longer to move through a zodiac sign, and this means their effect are subtle but far-reaching. In addition to affecting generations, these outer planets show how you grow over time. The impact of change now will be felt for generations, and oftentimes it's looking backwards that we get the insight as to what this time and the energy of this planet is going to mean. Pluto, because it's the outermost planet, it takes 248 years to orbit the sun, which means it spends over a decade in each sign. That's why it's called generational. It is at its return or its original position in Aquarius after a journey of 248 years. Pluto is exiting the ambitious, hardworking, rule-establishing Capricorn, and in 2024, it's now moved into a more rebellious, innovative, free-spirited sign of Aquarius. Part of its role is to dismantle structures and government bodies, both ruled by Capricorn, those things that maybe were put in place that no longer serve its purpose or are ready for a revolution. Pluto has been bouncing into Aquarius and then back to Capricorn during its retrograde seasons. It's forward now in Aquarius as of January 20th of 2024, and it'll be there until September 1st, 2024, at which time it will move back into Capricorn again for a short period of time, only until November 19th. At that point, it moves back into Aquarius and it stays there until March 8th of 2043. At the core of Pluto's energy, it's all about transformation. Like the phoenix, it demands a teardown or death before a rebirth or rebuild. Wherever Pluto lands, you can expect destruction followed by creation. It's gradual, so you may not notice what's taking place at first. However, after it exits one sign for another, you become more aware of how much you've evolved, meaning you may not be fully aware or understand the impact until it moves into Pisces in 2043. Now, Pluto is named after the Greek god of the underworld, Hades, and Pluto is associated with all things below the surface. Besides representing unearthing the truth and showing the real power status, Pluto also symbolizes progress, evolution, and intensity, as well as the cycles of death and rebirth. This planet is known for its transformative powers, and it's expected to be pronounced, which can change the way we see the future. Interesting, right? To know what it might destruct in its path, we have to look at the meaning and the opportunity behind Aquarius. The last time it was in Aquarius was 1778 to 1798. The French Revolution was waging, and that changed the course of history. And we can look at history in an attempt to project where or what changes we might experience. Here are a few beliefs as to what we might expect or experience based on where and what we know about Pluto and Aquarius in the past, as well as speculation for the future. For example, other things that will impact the energy for the next year and certainly for the next 20 years are the solar and the lunar eclipses, but also where the other external planets are: Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, and Saturn, and I'll talk about them a little bit later. During the next 19 years, Pluto will remain in Aquarius without interruption, and we can expect the focus to shift to the collective and shared power. Demands for equity and fairness will be loud, while technology and advances that may have us living almost like a Star Trek age will feel norm. We'll have this need to understand technology in a different way, one that really makes life easy for us versus just fun or social. We'll begin to look at technology as a tool and a fundamental necessity of society. Science is already growing leaps and bounds faster than any other time in history. I recently came across an article about lab-grown meat. Yes, you heard that right. Using the cells of chicken or beef to produce cultivated or cell-based meat may take a while to make it to the shelves of grocery stores, but there are already restaurants looking at this as being a potential menu item in the near future. Why then could this technology not be used to generate organs for transplant or grafting needs, like skin grafts? Without sounding creepy or something out of a sci-fi movie, this might be an incredible, valuable technology for someone waiting for a heart, liver, or kidney transplant, or as I said, skin grafts. But what about regeneration for sight or hearing? These are areas of science that the energy of Aquarius could help. Another area is quantum computing and the computer power fast and strong enough to predict DNA anomalies or prescribe the exact medicines or treatments needed based on the DNA of the person and not just a blood type. We will see more advances and discoveries with DNA and cellular manipulation. We'll face the challenge of science versus ethics, and that will create tension in some moral laws. Can we use technology to reproduce tissues and organs? Is that morally correct? Can we use technology to feed people? And what might be the unknown fallout from that at a future time or for a future generation? Then the question is, who or should anyone regulate or control such technology? Pluto in Aquarius will usher in miraculous technology and advances that we can barely comprehend now. New pharmaceuticals and medical devices such as robotic limbs, bionic eyes, and the restore of the lives of people with injuries and possibly cure disabilities. Again, quantum computing, quantum internet. Aquarius is about quantum leaps. Technology advancements from other cultures would also mean the importance of a sharing across cultures that would help make these quantum leaps. But what about encounters with foreign or alien resources? And I'm talking about intelligence from space or beyond what we know today. Might there be more out there that will help Earth transform and evolve, both energetically as well as physical. I can already get insight and information from other worlds and other dimensions, but what more is available for science or other areas that we need help with? Technology and science can also create more tools for destruction and empowering or controlling. We are already seeing drone warfare and laser technology. Sound or frequency can also be used. This is going to challenge us as to what is good and what is not good, and again, who controls it. We'll be more aware of our data privacy, or the lack of it. There will be battles for control of flow of that information or of that data, and cybersecurity will be highly sought after as a skill for protection as well as advancement of knowledge. AI, or artificial intelligence, will be sought out for good and sometimes not so good help. The music industry, writer industries that are already looking for regulatory help in preventing AI from stealing or pirating some of their material. I've recently seen new careers pop up, such as Chief AI Officer or AI Development Manager or AI Security. All of those will be emerging positions and a technology that's needed and necessary for us to go forward in the future. Aquarius is about innovation, and I hope that some of that innovation is channeled to radically reduce carbon emissions and to further the fight against climate change. Other technologies for carbon removal will combat climate change and make the future more sustainable. Wind, solar, battery have to be investigated deeper, as they tend to create a different footprint that mankind did not anticipate, nor did they understand, nor do we understand the impact for future generations. Innovations to deal with the world's plastic issues help heal and certainly help our water sources. Aquarius is also about leadership, and corporate styles of leadership could change, as well as how we look at collaboration. But what this also might mean is that countries will need to consider the needs of the community rather than consolidated wealth for just a few. Greed and inequality will be challenged, as well as those in authority to make them more balanced. The old guard will be released, and this need for a different type of control as young guards look to grab the baton. This might be seen or show up as more government control, such as censorship. Humans have always struggled with who controls and not liking to be controlled. We can look back at a time where church controlled all information. But Pluto in Aquarius is also opposite Leo, and the symbolism of Leo is the crown. So overthrowing the crown, or whoever is in power, world power or in office power, is certainly up for debate. If we look at history, we had a time where the Pope ruled over kingdoms, then kingdoms separated from religion, then the French Revolution, and individuals came out from underneath the French monarchy and the kingdoms. There is potential to see upheavals and shifts in leadership and how leadership is perceived. Globalization is also on edge. For decades, the world has attempted to become a globalized economy. We then questioned if moving everyone to be more demographic, onshore versus offshore, would make better sense. Would it be safer? Would it be more accessible to a point that countries are pulling back and deglobalizing? Aquarius will have us question all these practices, these processes, and certainly a big question will be, where are we in the universe? The picture of the universe. What and where does dark matter live? We already have learned that the universe is 2 times older than we first thought. What if we're not the only inhabited planet? We're not the only sentient to change how we think we're on the center. Do humans have the capability and the technology to create other species via AI that are also sentient beings, meaning they're able to perceive or feel? Space will continue to call us, and technology will allow us to go further, longer, and see more. An example is the launch probe to Europa, the frozen ocean of the moon of Jupiter. That will land in 2030. And as recent as January 25th of 2024, NASA announced that the Mars helicopter had its 72nd flight, but it was its final extraterrestrial trip. The first craft to ever make a powered control flight on another planet was damaged. One of its 4 essential rotor blades was damaged to the point that it cannot take any future flights. It flew for over 3 years, providing footage to the Mars planet, and it was designed for only up to 5 flights, but it did 72 flights before it was damaged. It taught us about solar power, technology, and more on the rough terrain of Mars. We're still learning, and we will take that knowledge and that information and go further or farther with it. Lastly, the placement of Pluto is over the United States, as has been discussed by many astrologers, and I've talked about it in previous podcasts. It reminds us of its last time when it was here over the United States and where we were in finalizing the Constitution. After unrest, and it was where the Constitution began on structuring, was put in place. We can only then speculate what the death rebirth energy may influence this time. Some are wondering about revising the Constitution, ancestral healing, decisioning on leadership. At that time, 248 years ago, presidency was established. You think back to the time of Washington, first president. He could have decided to be a king versus a president. Pluto picks the sign that it's in for the destroyer, meaning what needs to be shaken up or changed. Pluto being in Aquarius can shake up or create newness, innovation in the areas of sci-fi. It might create panic in artificial intelligence. It might create advancement or panic in alien or extraterrestrial communication or connection with beings. It might create an innovation or advancement or panic when it comes to history, tech advancement, government controls, development of new forms of destructionary weaponry. It can be good, but it also can be not so good. Many of you have been on Earth during other such shifts. I'm not talking about this lifetime. I'm talking about previous lifetimes. Perhaps you were here during the shift of church over kingdom, the revolution, or other times to help with the shift or help with the potential panic and fear. Perhaps your soul has traveled a pathway watching humanity where gunpowder was first discovered, then guns, that's the Middle Ages, and then guns were moved to the West, then those were used for weapons of war, and then we moved into cannons. Maybe you are a soul that experienced building a castle and hiding inside that castle rather than going out on the field during times of siege. Maybe you are here now to see the advancements in medicine, technology, or how humans are interacting. For some, this time can be full of opportunities if you like change, the unknown, or anything that looks remotely like an adventure. For others that maybe don't like change, that you like knowing and you like consistency, this shift can feel horrible. To help navigate and continue to be open and curious, know that your soul has done this before. Your soul chose to be here at this time to participate in this evolution, to experience whatever it is you're experiencing. Also remember, alongside Pluto, we need to look at where other pivotal planets are here because they give us more clues and insights to the impacts. They also can calm or soften so that not everything is a disaster. Not everything is about destruction. And also remembering we're never alone. And lastly, this is a long transition. It's not going to happen overnight. This is a 20-year transition. Some things can change quickly and some can take a long time. I also look at 2024. This is a number 8 year. If I take 2 + 2 + 4, that's a number 8, which adds more energy for discovery, leadership, building, doing, and certainly creating. And then we follow next year in 2025. Well, that's a 9 year. That's an ending in numerology. Before we begin the new cycle in 2026, that's a 1 year. But also in 2024, it's the last year of Uranus and Taurus. And Taurus has a 7-year rotation. Remember I said Pluto has 20 years. Well, Uranus has a 7-year cycle, and it moves to Gemini in 2025. So Uranus, having been activated, could bring more sudden, unexpected change. But also Uranus brings more insight, more of our intuitive spirit. Previous points in history point to a more revolutionary change, including World War II. It doesn't have to be a world war, but it can be a different way of how we look at approaching the needed changes. 2024 also is the last year of Neptune in Pisces, and Neptune is a 14-year cycle. Then it moves to Aries in 2025. Aries can help to bring us closer and to force things that have been lingering too long. It helps make decisions. Aries is an action sign. It's about getting things done. We'll also experience a Saturn-Neptune conjunction in 2025. So we know there's more major changes coming. The last time this occurred, there were world land shifts, rulers that controlled different areas of the world. Pluto picks the sign that it's in for the destroyer. And as I mentioned, sci-fi, AI, extraterrestrial, but also innovation, tech advancement, collaboration, leadership, new forms of doing old things. All of this, I also believe, is contributing to where the timelines are collapsing. And I'm going to do a separate podcast on just the concept of timelines collapsing. While Pluto is in Aquarius, it will impact everyone. In your personal chart, it will impact you. You don't have to have Pluto sitting in Aquarius. I just want to go through Pluto in the various signs. So if you want to look at your birth chart to see where was Pluto at the time I was born, that will give you an insight into attributes about your personality. So for example, I might be a Leo, but at the time I was born, maybe Pluto was sitting in Aries. So let me go through that description for all the zodiac signs. If you were born with Pluto in Aries placement, you're known for your pioneering spirit, your willful nature. You have a strong desire to be in control, and you're not afraid to take risks in order to achieve your goal. Taurus deals with possessions, resources, and material matters. People born during Pluto and Taurus have to deal with the urge and stubbornness to preserve and perpetuate their physical reality. If you were born at a time where Pluto was in Gemini, then your life is all about transformation, communication, self-expression, and your writing skills. If you were born during a time when Pluto was in Cancer, you are sensitive to people's moods and feelings, and you're hyper aware of your surroundings. You're empathetic to everyone around you, and you're very perceptive of the finer details at work. If you were born at the time that Pluto was in Leo, Leo represents the power of force of one for change, and it motivates personal transformation and self-understanding. When this transit occurred, it was during World War II and the development of the atomic power. Those born during that time are part of the Me generation, and those born with Pluto in Virgo possess a deep analytical ability and a keen attention to detail. They're hardworking and practical and have a desire for perfection and order. However, the same critical nature can also lead to anxiety and a tendency towards self-criticism. If you are in the range of a Gen X, that means that you were born when Pluto was in Libra between 1971 and 1983, and you have a strong desire to smash and inevitably to return to the suburban status quo for more peace and balance, partnerships, and you certainly come with progressive ideas. If you were born at a time where Pluto was in Scorpio in your natal chart, this indicates transformative and regenerative cultural changes. This would be the time of birth between November 1983 and November of 1995. This makes that generation part of the Scorpio generation. They're emotional and sensitive and always considering the impact of their actions on others and seeking to express their innermost truths honestly and authentically. And if you were born at the time where Pluto was in Sagittarius, well, Sagittarius is the sign of the truth seeker, the philosopher, and the adventurer. So Pluto's transformative energy would be directed toward the realm of beliefs and knowledge and spirituality. So people born during this period are driven to question established norms and paradigms. They seek deeper understanding and broader perspectives. And if you were born in the time where Pluto was in Capricorn, that generation is between the years of 2008 and 2025. Well, Pluto and Capricorn individuals are usually born in an era that creates ambitious and strategic people. This is the future generation. And then the babies that are coming in now for the next 20 years, well, they are being born in the time where Pluto is in Aquarius. and they will demonstrate new and different ways to innovate, to network, to collaborate, different ways to bring leadership. They'll have more hopes for the future that involve science, technology, sci-fi. Those born with Pluto in Pisces in their natal charts take into account the feelings of others when making a decision, often this being the most important factor for them to consider. They're sensitive and empathetic, and they want to fulfill their dreams on the account of others. Remember, Pluto picks the sign that it's in to destroy or to bring destruction and rebirth, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing. I'd like to now visit all the birth astrology signs. To help you navigate this part of the podcast, it might be best for you to listen to both your rising and your sun signs. So let's begin. Let's start with rising or sun sign in Aries. And if you want to listen to your moon sign, you can do that also. But we'll start with Aries. Pluto in Aquarius right now gives you your social circle a complete upgrade. Ties with the old, outworn friendships might get severed in order to create space for new relationships to come in. You will not be happy with shallow, casual acquaintances. They just lose their appeal. You want to go deeper, draw more intense connections. Some of the people that you encounter could profoundly impact your life. For example, you may connect with a mentor or group of people who want to change the world. While all of this seems exciting, some discernment must be needed. Some of the people you might meet have secret agendas or they promise the impossible, so vet those things carefully before getting too close. But during this period, your goals may shift to the needs of the collective rather than your personal wants. This could lead to an interest in humanitarian work. You tend to like to work individually, and this energy of Aquarius and Pluto will help you or have you looking at how you fit into the greater community in a purposeful way. And Taurus, over the next 2 decades, your ambitions soar. You're filled with big ideas and ready to take them out into the world in new and different and innovative ways. Significant career changes are possible. For example, you may receive a new role at work leading to something greater that's further down the road. Influential people could also assist you in reaching your goals. The odds are stacked in your favor, allowing you to achieve everything you desire. However, you must watch out for any potential power struggles that might arise with coworkers or peers. Minimize that problem by lifting everyone else as you climb also. The upcoming 2 decades shall be potent. It's a time to shine in your individuality. Don't be afraid to break the monotony, overcome your fears, and stand out from the crowd. On your career front, be open to new opportunities and be fully in charge of your growth and development. If something is not working out, change directions. Pluto's journey through Aquarius activates the sector of your chart that governs success, authority, and boundaries. Giants in your industry may fall, and dynamic shifts drastically might change. Abuses of power might also be revealed, calling you to step up and seize control of your own circumstances at a core level. And Gemini, this is your time to broaden your horizons. Travel could be really exciting, especially long journeys to distant lands. Instead of settling down roots, see the world. Engage with people from all walks of life, and you'll emerge with new perspectives. Another way to transform yourself comes through education. Go back to school for that advanced degree or advanced studies. Maybe study abroad or teach. If you've ever wanted to write a book, this is the time to start. This transit can also bring new spirituality or philosophical outlooks to your world. In some cases, it could also lead to fantasy or maybe religious hypocrisy. Believe what you want, but don't shove it down other people's throats. Pluto's move into Aquarius will spell a journey of self-love and personal development for Gemini. Taking time out for yourself, learning new skills, pursuing higher education, and even going on long holidays will become crucial over the coming decades. Important life lessons will manifest for you in the coming years as Pluto migrates through Aquarius and your philosophical sector of your chart. The accumulation of personal experiences will bring growth to your compassion and to your nature. And Cancer, during the next couple of years, Pluto will move through your intuitive section of your chart. You are naturally psychic, so this period boosts your abilities. Metaphysical topics should be of interest, which makes this an excellent time for study, such as meditation, reincarnation, mediumship, or even astrology. Finances will also need your attention, especially taxes, loans, alimony, or inheritance. It's important to pay down debts and secure the future now. If you're mindful, you might have more money in the bank when this transit ends. This is the time for personal transformation and embracing your real self, Cancer. Pluto in Aquarius shall mark a period of introspection and allow your sign to spend time with itself. So be prepared to leave your comfort zone, take that spiritual trip to emerge as a new person over the upcoming years. And since Pluto embodies themes around renewal and evolution, you'll feel more inspired than ever to finally step into the roles you've only fantasized about in the past. It'll be important that you lean into your dreamy ambitions throughout the coming years, understanding that you're responsible for your own sense of fulfillment and certainly your own sense of happiness. And Leo, your thoughts will settle on themes around love and companionship as Pluto moves into Aquarius and the sector of your chart that governs relationships. Your personal relationships will be tested. Some will deepen, while others will fall by the wayside. Divorce or separation might be possible, leaving room for new or those connections that are elevated to where you are in life. Keep in mind that endings are not always a bad thing. Sometimes we outgrow people. During this period, you'll see who needs to go so you can continue to grow. Involvement in legal matters or public relations are also possible. Exercise caution in both arenas because trouble could arise if you're careless. For this sign, this is the time to take stock of your relationships and get ready to let go of any past baggage that doesn't suit you. Use your energy wisely and don't be hasty in your actions. Reflecting on yourself, improving interpersonal bonds, and moving ahead are the best way to be. And Virgo, this transit of Pluto is best for improving your health or your working conditions. Because your willpower is accentuated, you have a better chance of sticking to new healthy habits. Implementing a good regimen now could help rebuild your body. However, if you've neglected your health, be careful not to overexert yourself. Begin slowly and consult with your healthcare practitioner before you begin. When it comes to your job, the environment could undergo a radical transformation. For example, technology could eliminate certain manual tasks. You might even find yourself moving to a new career. Pay attention to your peers, your colleagues, and your friends. That's very important for you, Virgo. Use the coming 2 decades to filter your acquaintances and be careful of what you share with whom. This is also the time to remap your career and daily routines, as Pluto's entry into Aquarius will enable Virgos to access their work habits and lifestyle. A strong urge to help others live their best lives will act as a guiding force for you through the next 20 years, while Pluto journeys through Aquarius and through your solar 6th house. And Libra, Pluto adds intensity to your romantic life during this transit. If you're single, intriguing new love interests could enter the picture, while partnered Libras might be ready to experiment and spice things up. The sizzle factor is real, but you must watch out for jealousy. If that arises, it could derail things no matter how hot to trot your relationships can be. Creativity is elevated. New inspiration will take your artistic endeavors to exciting, higher levels. Caution is advised with gambling or financial speculation. Loss is possible if you push your luck. This Venus-ruled sign shall have no dearth of creativity energy. However, it is crucial to understand your potential and allow yourself to leave your comfort cushion. Confront your issues and take up new projects that will interest you over the following years. You need some excitement, and you will experience a strong desire to express yourself from deep within as Pluto's journeying through Aquarius activates the sector in your chart that governs creativity and natural talents. You'll be in a very unique position to empower and refine yourself through your art, giving you cosmic leeway to unapologetic devoting your time and focus on nurturing those hobbies and creative interests. And Scorpio, give yourself plenty of room for emotional growth as Pluto migrates into Aquarius and your solar 4th house. This cosmic climate will illuminate cycles that exist in your family tree, helping you see which habits or behaviors you've carried down from the adults who've shaped you or whether they're healthy or not. During this transit, Your living situation could also go through a massive change. For example, you might move far away from your family or begin renovating your home. In fact, this is one of the best transit for home improvement projects. It's also ideal for investing in real estate. However, there can be other not so pleasant disruptions, such as family drama or the loss of property due to natural disasters. Boundaries with loved ones and house insurances are a must now. Scorpios, you also will find greater joy in stepping away from things that are boring or too familiar. This is a way of letting your spirit free. Over the coming years, some things that will be greatly beneficial to you is paying heed to others' suggestions, making dynamic shifts in the family, and solving issues with family that have been dragging on for years. And Sagittarius, the universe is all about cycles, and with Pluto entering Aquarius and your solar third house, you'll begin to notice shifts in the way you think, speak, and learn. Though you're capable of untangling complex ideas with your natural curiosity, now might be a good time to revisit basic knowledge or basic ways of communicating. You'll be in a very unique position to simplify your life. You may become more psychic or experience an interest in spiritual subjects such as reincarnation or even yoga. In fact, this is an excellent time for some serious study of metaphysical topics. This might be a time for you to re-examine your beliefs and explore new ways of thinking. Question everything and keep an open mind. You might change your attitude or your beliefs. Everyday routines may undergo a shakeup. For example, you could travel away from home often due to your job. And sometimes this transit can also reveal secrets about neighbors or siblings or other close relationships. This would also be a time for you to exercise caution or carefulness as you're signing any new contracts. Be aware of the details. You might feel you're in control as Pluto is in Aquarius. That will enable you to be in the flow and follow what others suggest, but it's also a time that you need to be sure and make those decisions for what's best for you. Forming new connections, letting your flirtatious side shine, making interactions more meaningful, and letting go of inhibitions will help you prosper. And Capricorn, major changes are coming to your finances as Pluto migrates into Aquarius and the sector of your chart that governs materialism and money. Your finances and values are ready for a full-scale transformation. It begins with a breakdown phase, which forces you to take a long, hard look at your resources and your attitude around your resources. You might need to change your spending habits or money mindset. For example, if you have a scarcity mentality, you might want to look within to find the source of that fear. Once you find that, to take steps to root it out and heal it. Financial responsibility could fall on your shoulders. If that happens, you'll need to develop strategies. Maybe a side job or a new job or an updated budget plan might be needed. Be careful if you're having to deal with alimony, insurance, investments, legacies, or even taxes. It's really best to be honest in dealing with any of those. You will also be more secure when this transit ends if you manage your resources well. Capricorn's Pluto's journey is a period to let things happen effortless. Expect things to fall into place without you having to go to extra lengths. This is also the time to plan your finances well and take charge of your expenditures. You'll notice these things will shape your personality or shape your life in a different way. And Aquarius, you'll feel Pluto's entrance into Aquarius more than any other members of the zodiac. While the planet of death and rebirth journeys through your sign, expect to get hit with intense waves throughout the next 2 decades as the stars work overtime to help you gain status, popularity, and a sense of empowerment. And because Pluto is in your sign, you'll also undergo a profound personal transformation. The old you or versions of the old you will fade away, allowing new aspects of your personality to emerge. Your outer self will go through a metamorphosis as well. For example, you may ditch your old wardrobe, try a new hairstyle. You might even be tempted to change your name. By the time this transit ends, you might feel like a completely different person. Your willpower and resourcefulness are amplified, which gives you the power to reach your goals. However, you'll need to curb or control your freak tendencies just a little bit. Nobody likes a bully, so just watch in communication and be prepared to experience the effects of Pluto's journey. You're likely to feel and let others feel liberated and energetic, and this transformative power of this period is likely to manifest in healing qualities for you that emerge for you to become that new individual or a new version of yourself. And Pisces, prepare for major epiphanies throughout the coming years as Pluto's journey through Aquarius activates the sector in your chart that governs self-reflection. This planetary placement demands that you take an honest look at yourself and understanding how certain actions or choices led you to where you are today. When embarking on this journey, take care to pinpoint your strengths and your weaknesses, and you'll be in a unique position to break free from any unhealthy patterns. You may also want to pay close attention to any aspects of your life that continually bring grief or destruction, as it could be the universe's way of nudging you away from these situations. Rest and solitude appeal to you now. While others might clamor for the spotlight, you might find you want to be alone with your thoughts. Time spent in meditation, therapy, or spiritual practices brings healings and profound insights for you. You find that you can release old stories or outworn beliefs. More importantly, you can understand your unconscious motivations, and this allows you to confront your inner demons once and for all. Be sure to elevate your self-care during this transit, and at times you may feel disappointed with other people. Power struggles with loved ones or perceived foes could test your compassion, but don't lose faith. Pisces is likely to get into the revolutionary and philosophical zone during this period. This is also a time to make peace with the darker shades of your personality and pave the way to embrace what the future has in store, which is light, sunshine, love, and happiness. So overall, this is a time to follow your heart and feel the uninhibited energy of Pluto. Know that there are going to be some things that go away or die off or are feeling like they're destructed in order for new and birth to take place. Trust that the universe has a path for you to follow, and don't be afraid to take that new path, to change careers, to explore opportunities that might give you a fresh perspective. Don't hesitate to reevaluate your ambitions, chase your dreams, those things that you've always wished to pursue. Don't be fearful of looking at your shadow, the deeper parts of you. This is a time for you to level up or to become a brighter, lighter version of you. You might also get to form new connections and relationships with those sharing the same ideas and aspirations and goals and dreams as you. Pluto in Aquarius will show you where you're ready to experience that radical transformation. You might push back on that for a while, but we all get tired of pushing back. We all know that the universe wins in the end. Know that your attitude, your curiosity, your ability to adjust will have an impact on your experience. How you have already evolved your energy bodies will impact your experience. Your awareness of your physical, your etheric, your emotional, your mental, and of course your spiritual fields. Your awareness of how they all work together or where those areas are that might still need some help. Know you are neither helpless nor blind. You have wisdom and intelligence that is always available to you. Use it wisely. And of course, know that you are never alone and the universe is guiding you on this journey. I'm Lori Wondra. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to Messages from the Universe podcast with Lori Wondra of Your Life Core. For current events or to schedule a private session with Lori, please visit yourlifecore.com.